Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, Stamford Bridge is not a football pitch. It is the grand stage for Chelsea's masterclass. A night where Estevão shone like a diamond, where Yamal was completely neutralized, where Araujo left the field in disappointment, and where Rashford, just back from injury, was thrown in with the hope of breaking Barca's jinx. But in the end, everything vanished in a blue storm.
Welcome, dear viewers. We have just witnessed one of those matches that forced the whole of Europe to sit up and reevaluate the true power of Chelsea. Tonight, the Blues played a brand of football that was not just well organized, but full of pace, confidence, and sheer grit. In contrast, Barcelona, despite the notable return of Marcus Rashford, who manager Flick described as a Chelsea nemesis in previous encounters, simply could not withstand the host team's overwhelming pressure. Rashford returned from injury, carrying the hope of injecting creativity for Barca. But by the time he stepped onto the pitch, Barca was already on the defensive, while Chelsea kept running, kept pressing, and kept creating decisive moments. And the brightest spotlight of the night belongs to one player, Estevão Willian, the 18-year-old who set Stamford Bridge ablaze with a magnificent, career-defining solo goal. Ladies and gentlemen, join us as we look back at 90 minutes where Chelsea soared, Barcelona melted, and the story of Rashford, who returned just in time but couldn't save his team.
From the moment the whistle blew, Chelsea had no intention of a feeling out period. They pushed their lines high, pressed directly, and immediately forced Barcelona onto the back foot. The genius of the Blues lay in their intensity. Caicedo and Enzo played like two giant vacuum cleaners in midfield, recovering the ball constantly, choking every single Barca buildup. Reece James, with his invaluable return, also pushed the attacking speed to its maximum. In the first 10 minutes, Barca could barely move the ball past the halfway line constructively. Chelsea pressed from the back, from the wings, from the center, leaving Hansi Flick's side confused and lacking the control that is their very DNA. Barca's biggest hope tonight rested on the shoulders of Lamine Yamal, the talented 17-year-old who has often carried their attack this season. But against Chelsea, Yamal looked like his magic had been drained. Marc Cucurella shadowed him every step of the way, denying him the space to turn or dribble. Every time Yamal touched the ball, two blue shirts immediately converged. Chelsea wasn't just man-marking. They defended the zones brilliantly, completely shutting down this Spanish youngster's favored route, cutting inside and shooting with his left foot. The most surprising thing, Yamal barely managed a single successful press break in the entire first half. This is a rarely seen statistic for the player dubbed this 17-year-old wonder of world football. It is clear evidence of Chelsea's tactical superiority. In the 19th minute, Chelsea won a corner kick. What seemed like a simple set piece opened a chaotic chapter for Barcelona. Garnacho received the ball from a short corner, pulling it back for Cucurella to cross into the box. Koundé, in an attempt to block Neto, ended up kicking the ball into his own foot and then into the net. 1-0 to Chelsea, a goal that symbolized the disorientation of the Barca defense, a lack of focus, a lack of organization, and a lack of luck.
Barca still held a sliver of hope until Ronald Araujo, their iron center-back, made two consecutive mistakes, two ill-judged tackles, two yellow cards in a single half. When Araujo walked off, Hansi Flick's face said it all. He knew the game had slipped away from Barca's grasp. And then, in the 55th minute, Stamford Bridge exploded. The move started from midfield. Reece James passed forward, but the rest was Estevão Willian's own magnum opus. The 18-year-old received the ball, facing Cubarsí, arguably La Masia's best young center-back. A silky smooth body feint. Cubarsí was turned around like a directionless compass. Balde,
rushed over to cover, but only managed to hit thin air as Estevão accelerated. His speed was terrifying, like a sprinter. And then, without hesitation, Estevão unleashed a thunderous strike with his weaker foot, driving the ball straight into the top corner. 2-0 at Chelsea, a masterpiece, a goal that the entire Champions League will replay again and again.
From this point on, Barca disintegrated. The midfield couldn't organize play. The defense was fully exploited. The attack was almost harmless. Chelsea played as if they were in a training session, smooth, fluid, and effortless. In the 74th minute, Enzo Fernandez delivered a perfect assist for Liam Delap to slot home, 3-0 to Chelsea. A result that reflects the complete and utter superiority of the home team.
Let's dedicate a section to Marcus Rashford, the name expected to make a difference. Rashford had just returned from injury. Coach Hansi Flick believed his sharpness and knack for scoring against Chelsea would save Barca. Because history shows Rashford always performs well against the Blues. But tonight, all conditions were against him. Rashford entered the pitch with Barca already in disarray. He didn't receive the ball in favorable positions. He didn't have the space to accelerate. He lacked support for combination play. Chelsea was too strong, too fast, too pressing. Caicedo shadowed Rashford like his own reflection. Even when he got the ball, Rashford was forced to retreat deep, completely contradicting his style, which thrives on penetration and finishing in the final third. Rashford's fitness couldn't have been 100%. There were bursts of pace, but not enough to dismantle Chelsea's defensive system. Rashford returned, but he couldn't turn the tile alone. The conclusion for Rashford in this match: he came on with hope, but Chelsea gave him absolutely no opportunity to realize it.
Chelsea, the system's victory. High pressing, extremely effective high press. Transition, swift and incisive transitions. Core strength, the quartet of Enzo, Caicedo, Reece James, and Estevão created an overwhelmingly powerful central axis. Wing defense, Cucurella completely neutralized Yamal on the left flank. Neto, intelligent movement, constantly creating space for teammates. This is the match that shows Chelsea is truly evolving from an impetuous young team into a side with genuine tactical identity and maturity. Barcelona, failure in every line. Midfield, De Jong completely lost control. Creativity, Gavi and Pedri lacked the necessary spark under intense pressure. Defense, the backline was constantly stretched. Araujo red card smashed the team's structure. Attack, Yamal neutralized, Lewandowski vanished. This is not the Barca that fans expected. This is the confused, disconnected, and characterless version of Barcelona. Ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea tonight played as if they had a glimpse of the future. A future where Estevão is a superstar, where their attack is explosive and powerful, and where the Blues reclaim their status as a European giant. As for Barca, if we want to be kind, we'd say they lost because they were a man down. But if we're honest, they lost because they lacked everything. Pace, lost. Power, lost. Tactics, lost. Mentality, lost too. And so, Chelsea 3, Barcelona 0. A night where the Blues sang and Barca simply stood by and listened. We hope Barca will bounce back strongly, but tonight, all deserved praise goes to Chelsea, and especially to the 18-year-old who just commanded the attention of all Europe, Estevão Willian. Goodbye, and see you in the next matches, where we hope Barca will play football more than they endure suffering.